Hello everybody. In this chapter, we will deal with the claim that the Palestinians are the descendants of the indigenous people of Palestine prior to the Zionist involvement. Before I begin, I would like to draw your attention to the fact that Arabs are tribal people and can be easily identified by their last names. Also, they do not often mix with the other tribes, meaning that a Masri family would probably not marry an Al-Faruqi family, because one of them is from Egypt and the other one is from Iraq. It is called Lahad Minna, not one of us. And for that reason, these families are still preserved to this day. Please take a look at the list of the common last names of the Palestinian Arabs. This eliminates any doubt about their true geographical origins. So, did Jews kick out the local indigenous Muslim Arabs from Palestine? Let us see. Egyptian Muslim Arabs started migrating to Palestine in early 1830s, and that is because Ottoman Empire lost a war against its own Egyptian province. They can be recognized by the aforementioned Masri family, which literally means Egyptian. In the late 1800s, Jews started rebuilding their homeland. Zionists from all over the world started investing huge capital in the development of Palestine, which created a ton of job opportunities. This progress has attracted so many people from all over the Ottoman Empire that even European Muslims came from Bosnia to settle in Palestine. They have later completely assimilated and became part of the Arab people, going by the tribe name of Bushnak. Arab population in Palestine between 1890 and 1945 increased by over 350%, while in Egypt, for example, the increase was roughly 100%. In the next few minutes, I will show you some statistics to prove that what I'm saying is the truth. Here is a random statistic from the village al-Fahm in the year 1943. Not even one person in there was born in Palestine. All were immigrants. This chart shows how much better was the quality of life among the Jews compared to the Muslims. Take a look at the numbers. Infant mortality rate and death per thousand have decreased each year among the Jews. For Muslims, there was even an increase between the years of 1927 and 1928. It means that Muslims were actually worsening their conditions. Here is a table that illustrates the progress in Palestine during the Zionist involvement, after the creation of Palestine by the Allied powers and the League of Nations. We can see that it was rapidly improving, same as the quality of life. Here's what Churchill had to say about it. The Arabs would have sat in the dark forever had not the Zionist engineers harassed the Jordan River for electrification. Now they swarm into Palestine in seeking the light. In this table we can see a comparison of the wages of the Palestinian Arabs to the wages of the other Arabs in the region. And in this table we can see that Arab population in mostly Jewish settlements has increased by 57%. While in settlements where there were very little or no Jews at all, their population grew only by 27%. And this is all completely logical. People sought better conditions and for that reason settled with or near the Jews. Given this, how can anyone claim that Jews drove the Arabs out of Palestine? Also, there is a famous claim that Jerusalem should be ceded to the Muslim Palestinians because they were always the majority in there. That is not true. Muslims were the minority in Jerusalem. At least for the past 2 centuries they were for sure. There are 4 different sources on the screen so that no one could say that this data is not reliable. Given these statistics, it is not hard to guess that Arabs immigrated into Palestine seeking economic opportunities, and they have done so illegally. You may ask why I always call this immigration illegal. Well, Article 6 of the Mandate for Palestine states that the administration of Palestine has to encourage immigration of the Jews. Then the next Article 7 states that Palestinian citizenship should be given to the Jews who take permanent residence in Palestine. Immigration of the Jews to Palestine was legal and the one of Arabs was illegal. But Britain did the opposite. They have limited Jewish immigration while turning a blind eye on the Arab one. This is why it is totally untraceable. Obviously, legal residents were not listed as illegal. The only way we can estimate that immigration is by looking at the overall demographics of Palestine. So can we really call a bunch of illegal immigrants Palestinians? I don't think so. Can we call them indigenous people of Palestine? Of course not. Now, I am not saying that all of the Arabs in Palestine were illegal immigrants. Not at all. According to the research done by Joan Peters in 1984, there were over 100,000 Arabs living in Palestine prior to 1831. Given the average Arab population growth in the area, without the intervention of the Jewish Zionists, based on this research, their population today would be somewhere around 500,000, not 10 as the UN counts. Huge number of illegal Arab immigrants, boosted by much better quality of life, finally led to an incredible population increase. Instead of being grateful, Arab nations have used the UN to convert all of these people into permanent refugees in order to kick out the Jews from the country that they have built from scratch. In any case, to our point, all of this means that statistically only 5% of them could be the descendants of the indigenous Arabs of Palestine, and the rest 95% are probably descendants of illegal immigrants. In addition, I would like to conclude this video with the following. When there was a country called Palestine between 1920 and 1948, citizens of that country were called Palestinians. That is true. But it was a citizenship, not an ethnic identity. Like Americans, for example, be they of Mexican descent or of European, they are all called Americans. Article 7 states that of the immigrants to Palestine, only the Jews could obtain Palestinian citizenship. Since the Jews already had an identity for over 3,000 years, the name Palestinian was temporary for them. As soon as independence was declared in 1948, they have immediately dropped the title, named their territory the Land of Israel, and called themselves Israelis. After all, they were called Sons of Israel for over 3,000 years. And all of this was completely legal in terms of international law. Unlike what many believe, Jewish claim for the land is not based in the Bible. It is common knowledge that Jewish sovereignty over Palestine was recognized as a historical pre-existing right. Archaeological evidence of the Jewish presence in Palestine is overwhelming. Jewishness of Palestine was also displayed on the paper money, coins, and even postal stamps. All of them had the letters Aleph Yud in Hebrew, that is short for Eretz Israel, the land of the Jews. Arabs tried to dispute these letters but lost the case. It was clear then that Palestine was established as a Jewish state. Also, to disprove the claims that the lands were stolen from the locals, I must mention that according to the report of the Peel Commission of 1937, that had a testimony of the Arab revolt leader and the known Nazi, Haj Amin al-Husseini, Zionist Jews bought the lands from willing Arab owners that did not even reside in Palestine, and did it at prices well above the usual market rates. Arabs themselves sold the lands from under the feet of their brothers. Full testimony is on the screen. And by the way, Arabs of Palestine have always rejected the title Palestinians, because they saw themselves as a part of a huge ummah, Arabs, and so the myth of the modern Muslim Arabs referred to as Palestinians, being the descendants of the local Muslim population of Palestine, is properly debunked. Thank you for watching.